don't care where you're at or sitting around, and sometimes someone will say they just got one of those checks for maybe 50 cents, and it becomes a joke. What a waste of taxpayers' money. So I think the comptroller has recognized something here that we could fix, and common sense, and you know, like you say, $1 million here and there, and that's what adds up to. We need to be a little bit more efficient and keep doing that in the future.
Okay, if we have any questions on this, if you have any other questions on anything else in respect to our representatives, I can see you after the press conference on anything else you may want to talk about, but any questions on this? Yes?
Were there specific kinds of checks? In other words, is this just taking care of one category and you see other less than $5 checks going out elsewhere too?
No, these would be any checks that are issued, you know, out of the controller's office. Most of them will be to vendors, but some could be to individuals and things of that sort. But if you're getting 30 or more again, you can still do it this way. We're not, you know, I'm sure there's some who really are quite wedded to paper checks, but it's going to cost them. And
If you get one of these $5.50 checks and you want it mailed, you are going to have to pay $2.50.
right, and that's not making any money for us. That's strictly handling. I mean, it's right. It's an incentive, but it's just cost of handling, basically, and it costs us because we do have to get special paper. We do have to do it printing, and it does take more time to do the printed check.
How did this come, specifically, how did this issue come to your attention, and to what extent are you going through with a fine-tooth comb, looking at every procedure to see where can you save similar amounts of savings?
Well, it came to our attention through our representatives. They were the ones who complained because their constituents were complaining, as well they should, because not only were they getting these, they were getting vouchers, and we were killing trees, you know, by the hundreds in terms of paper here that they were getting and they were being inundated with. And they're saying, in this day and age, why are we getting all these checks for you know, oftentimes less than $1? And we're being flooded with them. I mean, that makes no sense, and each one's in a separate envelope, and each one is 40 cents, and this is just stupid. This is government being stupid and wasting money. They go to their representatives. Representatives say, what can you do about it? And we said, you know, that is pretty stupid. And so here we are. And that's what we're going to be looking for. We're going to be looking for things in government that, frankly, are stupid and that we keep doing over and over again, and it's costing us money for no good reason. We can update. Yes, most of our folks take direct deposit, and it's really much more effective, because I can still remember a time when we used to have to, as treasurer, when I first became treasurer, they would bring the checks, all of these things, in big burlap bags on the state plane. And if the weather were bad, the plane did not take off, or the plane wound up in Indiana, or the plane wound up somewhere else, and people didn't get their checks. And we'd have to send people all over Kingdom Come to get the checks. You know, and that's just not a way to do business. So we started with electronics at that point and moved it along. As electronic transfer became better and more technologically usable, we just moved it right along. So now most of our folks, and we do encourage it, do get electronic transfer.
Is there anything in this legislation that would deal with your ability to decide who gets paid when, to pay? I know you've said for a long time that you'd rather be able to pay people a bit, maybe not all that they're owed, but give them on a predictable payment cycle?
No, this does not affect that, because frankly, we are still going to have to upgrade our equipment. Our computers go back to 1996. Our programs, now you stop and think about it. Computers that go back to 1996 for a corporation the size of the state of Illinois, that's $33 billion, and we've got computers that maybe some third world countries don't even use anymore because they're so old.
I was
Sure.
Say, Julie Hamos testified, and I kind of want to direct this to the representative as well, that when we look at the amount of waste that we all know and fraud in Medicaid, and she's dealing with 1980 computers with COBOL software that they can't even get people to
We have it as well.
anymore.
We have it as well.
At what point does someone say, let's look at what the state is doing? If they spent probably $100 million in new computers, they might be saving that much a year in fraud, waste, and abuse.
I think we said it today.
Well, we're looking at one small aspect. Who's gonna look at, this technology in the state capitol alone is bifurcated and chopped out in so many different pockets that no one's taken an overview of just,
We're
Hamos has this, maybe the comptroller gets her new computers, but does Julie Hamos, and what else is operating in this same horse and buggy technology?
Well, we're going to use some of our budget in an incremental fashion. You can't do it all at once. To start upgrading this as much as possible, and put some money here into infrastructure, because without that, we cannot take advantage of 21st century programs, benefits, efficiencies. Now, once we get that done, and we have cobalt as well, we now have to, and it's going to happen this summer, is start taking stuff off of paper. We are so inundated with old paper that we can't use it, and it's just jammed into filing cabinets and boxes. And so we're going to be scanning this summer to try and put it onto tapes. And the more we get onto new equipment, new programming, where we don't have to go out and literally find people who can translate from COBOL to SAM so we can use the systems. And that's what we have to do to get rid of the old system. Then we're going to start putting pressure on agencies to make sure that they are as updated as we are, because otherwise we can't talk to them. And then get that overview, and I think we're shooting for that.
And I had a question there, because you're dealing with your department, you're on the checks. Do you have any responsibility as comptroller to look and see how other areas are spending their money, or is that just something you can suggest, and as you say, in common sense, but do you have any official responsibility that would allow you to look into the operations of other departments?
Not really, but we work very closely with the Auditor General. There's a very, very good relationship there. Having been on the Legislative Audit Commission, I'm very much aware of a lot of soft spots in the state, but I've never been known to be quiet, because I think it behooves our representatives, and they're very good at this. If they see something that's wrong, they're going to yell about it. And if I see something that's wrong, I'm going to yell about it. And when we're all yelling, it has a tendency to change. So if that's what it takes, fine. We're going to be doing it.
Is there an option for per diem checks to be direct deposited? I see the guys handing out the envelopes during session. Is that an option? Is that something
That's an option, but they would prefer to have the paper checks because they're actually here. They need to pay certain monies out here, and they need to get it quicker, so they need the paper. We might stay on paper for that.